Welcome to the Inspired by Adventure podcast, bringing you the adventure across the airwaves.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Inspired by Adventure podcast. I'm your host, Cole Watkins. We are here today with a cup of Joe with CEO Wayne Brown. How are you doing today?
Good morning.
It's late August. We're getting ready, wrapping up quarter 3 of the year, and got some exciting news to bring you guys. And we always love doing these podcasts because this is where you can find out all kind of stuff from the man himself. So first thing we want to talk about, we have a huge milestone coming up for our total guests that traveled with us.
That's right.
Let's hear about that.
So this fall, we're going to award our 350,000th guest since we started 40 years ago. Pretty amazing accomplishment.
Nice.
We kind of know that week or two that it's going to happen. Once it gets closer, we'll know exactly because people book last minute. And actually, Cole and I will be down there to award the person as a 350,000th guest, plus some great prizes, including some Mars scuba gear.
That's right. And there's still potential for you to sneak in if you haven't booked your trip yet this fall. It looks like we will hit 350,000 this fall. So a little bit of extra encouragement to go ahead and get signed up. You might be the lucky winner.
Exactly.
We also have some exciting news with our old friend Les Stroud.
Yeah, so Les, original Survivor man, if you haven't seen his shows, are still out there on TV where he'd go out by himself for a week at a time and great, no help and no nothing, just doing his own camera work and everything, pretty incredible. Mm-hmm. So I got to know him through the TV show and then called him up right after I bought the company back in 2007 and said, hey, let's do something together. You sound like a great guy that would be wonderful for Aggressor Adventures. It would be a great symbiotic relationship. So he's been a pleasure to have with us. He's great with our customers. He goes out every year on an adventure or two, sits around and gives little concerts. He's a big musician with our customers, tells lots of stories. And then, of course, he gets to dive, which he's a big scuba diver and adventurer. So next June 14th, he's on the Red Sea Aggressor 4. And then the week after on the 21st, he's on the Nile Queen 2. So you can do one or both weeks back to back with him and get to know Les and have a great time with him. He's a great ambassador for Aggressor.
He recently just came out with his most recent show, Wild Harvest, at the Aggressor Signature Lodge in Sri Lanka. And that's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, he started a show a couple years ago called Wild Harvest. So he goes out with a chef into the wild and harvests.
Forages, right?
Yeah, foraging for game and plants and maple syrup and you name it. and he comes back and makes a 5-star meal. So last year he did 2 shows on one of our Belize Aggressors. He did one on conch and one on lionfish. It was great. Both shows are out and are great to watch. And then this year he went to the Sri Lanka Signature Lodge and was able to do 2 shows while he was there with local foraging and harvesting with his chef. And we've seen the previews of them and they're pretty amazing. So encourage you to go out and look for Wild Harvest on your local network and watch the shows. And they're very interesting.
Very interesting concept, how they can create meals like that from stuff they've gathered. We also have some updates that I'm really excited to hear about is the Thailand Signature Lodge.
So if you haven't been to Thailand, first off, it's called the Land of Smiles for a reason. Just the friendliest people in the world over there. We have the Thailand Aggressor that's starting back up after a couple of years hiatus because of some government regulations with diving in the South Andaman Sea, but that's been resolved, and so now they're diving year-round over there.
That's great.
And in the northern Thailand, it's very mountainous. There's an area called Chiang Mai, very popular with tourists up there because it's so beautiful up there. And so we're under construction with a Signature Lodge up there that will open next year, late next year. And you'll be able to do a lot of cultural tours locally with some of the indigenous tribes there, some hikes with a lot of the wildlife, and just exploring the area up there with our nature guides.
It's going to be interesting because this is the second Signature Lodge we are going to be putting in under the Aggressor Adventures brand. What similarities will they have to the one that we have in Sri Lanka?
This one's a little different. It's more cultural in Thailand. You're not going to go out like you do in Sri Lanka and see herds of Asian elephants or leopards. You're going to do a more cultural aspect, which is just as rewarding as going out and seeing the wild animals, I think, especially with the culture that you get in Thailand, all the different tribes they have up there. We do some animal encounters, so there's an elephant sanctuary there, where we take you for half a day and you get to see how they're rehabilitating elephants. If you wanted help with feeding and washing and bathing them, you can.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's a great experience.
Yeah, okay. And what would the lodge be like as far as occupancy? How many people can stay at the lodge? Have we announced all that?
Initially there'll be 26 available spaces. Beautiful, brand new facilities that we're building up there in Thai style. So it will be built along with the way typical Thai building is up in that Chiang Mai area, along with doing it within the nature preserve that we're building it in. It's going to be really nice. It'll be individual chalets just like in Sri Lanka, and then have a main house where you go and have all your meals, and you can lounge up there if you'd like to.
That's going to be great, especially now that the Thailand Aggressor is back. People can double up, do the back-to-back weeks that we see how popular they are, just like Les Stroud is doing, just like a lot of people do with the Signature Lodge in Sri Lanka and the Maltese Aggressor. That's going to be great having that. Next thing to talk about is birding, how we have gotten into the birding realm. And we've talked about this on some past Cup of Joes, but give us an update on where we're at with that now.
So we've had groups of customers come with us for years that only do birding. So for instance, they'd go out to Cocos Island where there's just an amazing population of wildlife out there and birds. So we started looking into expanding that. One of the owners over in Sri Lanka and the owner in the Nile, Queen, started looking into the popularity of birding over there. And Sri Lanka's got hundreds of species indigenous over there, plus the migratory birds that come through. And so he built, and the Sri Lanka Signature Lodge, if you don't know, is built alongside a river over there. So he built a birding hide that you can climb up into there on the property and see hundreds of species right along the river. He also built a floating hide for the Nile Queen. So during the trips, if you want to take the floating hide out and go into the estuaries on the Nile and see the amazing birding wildlife they have there, it's as good as any other place in the world. It's amazing the species that come through there.
So the birding hide that's on the Nile River, it would be its own like little vessel. Is it getting pulled down the river, or does it will be at different spots near the estuaries?
Yeah, so it'll be its own motorized covered vessel with tarps that hide the customers in there.
Camouflage, huh?
Yeah, and keep them out of the sun, and able to take them into the estuaries. And if you go on the website and look at some of the photos our customers have taken there, it's pretty amazing at what you see there in the Nile. You wouldn't think of it being out in Egypt in the desert area, but along the Nile, it's very green and luscious and attracts a ton of birds over there.
Probably, yeah. That's the spot to be if you're a bird in Egypt, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going over there next year on a trip with customers, and there's still some spaces available, and we're going to combine obviously the archaeological wonders of Egypt along with birding for that week.
Do you know which week that is off the top? Here it is, March 7th through 12th in 2026, right?
That's right.
Yeah, March 7th through 12th, 2026. All right, interesting. And while we're on it, we also have some other CEO weeks we can mention. Wine Appreciation Week in Roatan, March 8th through 15th, 2025. Thailand Aggressor Creature Feature Week, January 18th through 25, 2025.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to both of those. Roatan, I love the diving over there. They got some unique critters that you don't find in other places very often in the Caribbean, batfish and stargazers and things like that. And then looking forward to going back to Thailand. I've been there a couple times, and it's just amazing diving over there. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right, awesome. All right, another big thing that Aggressor Adventures is getting into now, just upping our standard of the Aggressor standard, is the On Adventure Network.
So we're always looking how to leverage technology, especially out on at our destinations. And so we have settled on a device that allows us to have a local area network at every destination, whether you're at sea or whether you're on land. And you can act without having internet access to the outside world. You can still have access to our adventure network. So on the network, you're going to have a library of videos and movies that you can see. We're going to have all the information from every destination that's on there if you want to look at other destinations while you're there. We're going to have recaps of our safety briefing that's on there, so you can review all the safety features and safety exits and fire extinguishers or anything you want to see that's on there. We're going to add our beverage room service on there, so rather than having to fill out a card and hang it on your door, you just log into the Adventure Network and let them know what you'd like delivered in the morning.
You don't even have to get out of bed.
That's exactly right. So we're trying to leverage that. In destinations where we do have internet access, then that will also be connected to the internet. And depending on where you're at, it's either free or it's a small fee for a gigabyte package during the charter of the week.
And customers can learn about that before they go, or when they.
They can. There's a web page that explains it all. And of course, when they get there, the staff can help them log in and get connected to the On Adventure Network.
That's exciting. People like to stay connected while they're out there, so they can share, so they can brag about their adventure, their vacation they're on, making everyone jealous back home. All right, moving on. Another interesting thing we're doing soon is a Cooking with Chef Brad of the BVI Aggressor on October 12th through 19th of this year, coming up. Tell us a little bit about this.
So if you've been on the BVI Aggressor with Chef Brad, you know all about him because he's just an amazing, amazing chef. Has developed a huge following with our customers that have been on board with him. So he has agreed to put on a little week of cooking classes. It's nothing that's going to take away from your diving. You're still going to get all your dives in, but during the dives, between the dives, you'll be able to work with Chef Brad on whatever he's creating that day, and get some tips and tricks from him and learn a little bit about cooking on board. Yeah,
it's kind of a way to get a little bit of two hobbies knocked off, some scuba diving and cooking classes, but they're going to be really pretty thorough. He's got a full plan for every day. You'll be making some breakfast, lunch, and dinner when you want to come help out. I know when we went on my last BVI trip with my daughter, she got in there and made some rainbow cupcakes with him, and she really enjoyed that.
Yeah, his culinary ability is amazing.
Yeah, lucky to have him there in BVI. All right, chatbot. This is something new. Can you tell everybody about Destiny, our new chatbot?
So we try to follow all the technological trends, as I'd said earlier. And so AI is one of them that we watch closely to see where it's going and how it can be leveraged in a positive manner for the company and our customers. And so we've been working over the past probably 6 months with a chatbot called that we had a contest internally and named Destiny, which we thought was pretty appropriate. And so you can go on there and in off hours when we might not have anybody in the office, and ask the chatbot just about anything, and it's amazing what they can tell you about about the company, about destinations, where you might see a whale shark, where you might see reef sharks, where you can see the Asian elephants. I mean, it continuously crawls all of our web pages, all of our Know Before You Goes, and in addition to all the additional information that we feed it. It's crazy how it develops on its own. We don't have to continue to go in there and feed it answers. It just keeps updating it, especially with customers and their answers. If a customer asks a question it doesn't know, we'll answer the customer, then it automatically goes into its database so it knows, so it can answer it next time. It's just pretty amazing technology. We're glad to have it deployed on the website for customers that might just need a quick answer, or you might be in off hours and you want to ask it a few questions that you can follow up on the next day.
What are some of the main questions you think it'll be getting asked, and quick answers like that people can just come to without having to contact
I think the biggest thing they're going to ask is where they can see certain animals. I mean, that's usually what people want to see. It can tell you water temperatures if you want to know what the water temperature is. So you're packing tomorrow and it's midnight, you forgot to ask. It can tell you what the water temperature is, so you know how to pack a wetsuit or clothing. I mean, just about anything that you would ask us, it's going to usually know the answer. It's pretty amazing.
We had a very thorough trial run with that here at the HQ office, trying to stump it, and it is doing pretty well. Well, keeping on the technology front there, we've got a section here about AI.
So I wanted to just touch base on this briefly because it's coming pretty quickly as far as image generation and video generation. And it's going to get more and more difficult to the point of almost impossible to tell the difference between what's real and what's AI generated, artificial intelligence generated. I just wrote an article for Scuba Diving Magazine that came out a couple days ago about it. And in it I explained, how obviously it can be a real negative for us if companies, especially scuba diving companies or adventure companies, create AI and sell it off as being genuine, which I hope nobody ever does. We would never do that. I just want to bring that up, that it's a point of integrity with us, that we would never create something in AI that's not real and sell it as real. So while we might use it for like the chatbot, which is the way it should be used, we would not use it from an adventure standpoint of trying to show you something that never occurred. It's going to be a problem for actors and actresses in the future, because if you want to create a commercial, you don't have to have real people to do it. You can use AI and create a commercial that looks absolutely real, selling your product, which is where it's going, and where some of the big strikes that happened last year and the year before with the entertainment industry, because they knew where this was coming. But again, from an adventure standpoint, and hopefully all companies will not use it to create content that is and bill it as true when it's not.
Right. Okay. Next segment here to talk about is the Mission TV show.
Yeah, so to kind of wrap this Cup of Joe up, we do quite a bit of work with different TV shows, sponsorships, etc. And so one of the networks asked me to be part of a pilot, which is called The Mission. And so they asked 5 owners of companies to pick a mission that you would do personally. So it's not where you're going to go write a check to a charity. You're going to get out there and actually complete a mission. So I love going down to Belize, and so my mission is I'm actually leaving this Saturday in 2 days, taking 4 other team members with me, and we're going down to Belize to build handicap ramps for people that have mobility issues but don't have the funds to build a handicap ramp or accessibility ramp from their home to the yard or street.
Okay.
So we're slated to do 2 or 3 of those for the week. Hopefully we might be able to get in another couple. I don't know, but we want to give them the freedom to move around. So it actually my mission is called Operation Freedom.
Okay. And what made you pick this particular mission or goal?
Well, I love to work with my hands, so I love to build things, swing a hammer, turn a screwdriver, and so thinking about how to combine that with helping people seemed to be an obvious choice to build some accessibility ramps, and why not do it down in Belize where they don't have the level of public assistance that we have here.
Okay, very cool. Is there anything else you want to chat about?
I think that's enough for this quarter. Next quarter we'll have some more exciting news. Hopefully we're able to announce a couple of the destinations that we've been working on that's ready to go.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for stopping by for another episode of Cup of Joe with CEO, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.
All right. We're getting better at these.
Thanks for tuning into the Inspired by Adventure podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, please subscribe through iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. See you next time.